muddy mess is a typical 1930s East Texas oil boom town. Only the entire town is contained inside the East Texas Oil Museum right here in Kilgore. The museum preserves some of the dirty dealings and sticky situations and a whole truckload of nostalgia from the 1930s. Hi, I'm Rhea Nicholas with AmericanHistoryRoadTrip.com. Come, let's take a look around. And this is an incredibly immersive experience with all kinds of ambient sounds. Everything from engines running to people talking, dogs barking, even the occasional thunderstorm. And at this museum, you don't even have to read museum labels for items behind glass. You walk into an establishment and the place talks to you.
All kinds of folks from everywhere, oilmen, roughnecks, drillers.
That sure looks like a real person, doesn't it? But it's actually just a projection. All right, we are here with Olivia Moore. She is the manager of this spectacular museum, and she has generously offered to give us the tour. So currently we are in
the ARP General Store.
The general store. How did all of this even get started?
Well, we have to go back to the history piece of it. We did have the world's largest, at the time, oil field found right here in East Texas in 1930. And from that, an amazing piece of history came about. And with that, one of the players was H.L. Hunt. And he passed away in the mid-70s, and his family wanted to do something in honor of him and the other independent oilmen that made the East Texas oil field the East Texas oil field. So with that, they donated, the Placid Oil Company, the funds for our museum to be built, and the citizens of East Texas filled the building. Very few objects you see in the museum were purchased. Most of it was donated by community members right here in East Texas.
Can you tell us a little bit more about this general store?
Well, the general store that we are in is named the ARP General Store. However, our shopkeep back here was actually the shopkeep of the Kilgore General Store, Malcolm Krim. He was also the first mayor of the city of Kilgore.
Oh, wow. So I have been really curious about this mule-drawn wagon that is stuck in the mud. What is the story behind that?
It's purported that this is a farmer who lost his farm to the bank due to the Dust Bowl that came to East Texas for work in the oil field. East Texas and the communities here were sleepy rural communities, and there weren't a lot of people. The city of Kilgore had 500 folks before the boom. And at the height of the boom, they had over 12,000 people here.
Was it really this muddy?
It definitely was this muddy.
Wow.
When you think about all of that influx of people and their cars and their wagons and their bikes and the street conditions, they weren't paved. So all of that extra use, and then the rain came. And they were every bit as muddy as this, if possibly not muddier. I've seen photos of trucks taking equipment pipe out to the oil derrick locations, the well sites, that were buried up past the wheel well.
I noticed that these establishments all have some interesting names. Is there a story behind how they got their names?
Absolutely. We are the East Texas Oil Museum. We are located in Kilgore. However, the field is quite large and it did affect a lot of communities. So we show honor to those communities through the naming of our stores and our businesses here in Boomtown, USA. So we are in the Pistol Hill gas station. And Pistol Hill was again another community in the East Texas area that was affected by the boom, and this is a cable tool rig model. So when folks think of drilling, they always think of the oil derrick. And after the derrick goes up and the oil comes in, there's a whole lot of equipment that needs to come in to that location after to keep it running. Well, this map is actually a map of the East Texas oil field. The field itself is 45 miles north to south, between 5 and 12 miles wide, and it was, at the time when it was discovered, the world's largest oil field. We since have lost that title, but we've still produced over 6 billion barrels of oil. We are in the Gladewater Museum, which houses one of our highlighted attractions, the elevator ride to the center of the earth, where Professor Rockbottom takes you down layer by layer through the East Texas oil field until you get to the oil at 3,600 feet.
Way underground. Whoa! We're going down.
This elevator was actually shaking us back and forth, so we felt like we were moving. So this is a blacksmith shop, and of course their lives were changed, their careers were changed by the oil boom because they had to switch from working on farm equipment to working on oil well equipment, and they had to kind of teach themselves how to machine those sorts of things. Well, we're about to take a peek inside the theater. So I'm going to say goodbye to Ms. Moore and thank you so much for this interesting tour. It's been so much fun.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you coming, and I hope you enjoyed your time with us.
You bet.
Sometimes gas pressure outside the core ate away the earth until it finally opened up and swallowed up the rig, workers and all.
Wow. You have got to stay to the very end. I'm not going to tell you why. Just do it. Stay to the end.
Here, young'uns. I'm Buddy, a lineman for the Rural Electric Administration. Now, don't fret. That just means I'm bringing electricity to this here boomtown.
The mural of all these oil derricks are a hint to what we just saw, what lies inside this building, known as the East Texas Oil Museum, here on the campus of Kilgore College in East Texas. And this brings us to the end of another episode of American History Road Trip. I'll see you sometime in history. Bye.